Okay, let's do it.
Hello and welcome to today's podcast. I'm here with Chris. Can you just quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Chris. I'm the CEO of Talon.One since 2015, and I'm running the business now with my partner, Sebastian Haas.
So how are you keeping busy now that you need to keep yourself isolated?
So we are lucky that we have a small summer house in our north of Berlin where we escaped to. And I have a dog and I have my nieces and nephews with me, so I am entertained, although it's sometimes hard to find a quiet place to work.
And how are you dealing with this at Talon.One?
So at the beginning, I think we were underestimating it, like probably everyone did, and the impact it will have on the business. Once we figured out, okay, this is actually going to be a bit longer and will have a bigger impact than we anticipated in the beginning, we looked at our business and decided what kind of things we could do. And obviously we can see that sales are decreasing at the moment, and we estimate that sales will be decreased for a longer period of time. But we are lucky enough that we are a bit more advanced in our life cycle in terms of where we are with the company, that we have a small team, and that with the clients we have, we are pretty self-sufficient. So that being said, we decided that we need to have full transparency inside the business so that everyone in the team understands where we are and what is expected of them, and how we can use the situation to use our resources in the time most wisely and be prepared for when this is all over, and that we are basically trying to come out of this mess stronger than before.
So what exactly has changed in the way that the work's managed?
I mean, everybody talks a lot about home officing and the new work, that is happening now. I think we were always a company that was pretty much focused around enabling people to work how they wanted. So we had people already working six weeks apart from each other, being in Mexico or Israel for 6 weeks in a row. So I think it's not for us a completely new situation. Obviously, it's a bit unusual not to see each other for such a long time. But I think as a company, everybody's used to working remote and checking in with video conferencing, etc.
And in this situation, how can you make sure that people maintain a certain level of productivity?
It's sometimes hard because you're obviously more distracted, and I have family with me. But in general, I think that you keep a tight schedule, that you dress properly, so that you actually feel like you're about to go to work. I normally get up, I get up earlier because I have nothing to do in the evening. So I think keeping a regular schedule and keep sticking to meetings, doing video conferencing with videos enabled, having a proper workplace set up that is purely being used for work, not working from the couch. These are all small things that help. But I think there are already really good resources out there that help you to organize yourself.
What can we do to help clients while they're likely losing money now?
I think promotions, maybe at this point of time, people are holding their money back. But I think if you are a person that thinks about what's coming in the future, I think now it would be a great time to actually think about the tech resources you can use and how to prepare your business once the world stabilizes. And we actually start seeing that now, that despite the crisis, we have inbound leads from companies out of the travel sector, which is obviously being hit hard, to talk about how they can build promotions and use our tech to upsell customers. Maybe not this summer, but summer 2021.
And can you think of any strategic measures that companies can take apart from firing people?
What everyone does around me and what we do, we look at every single cost cutting that we can do, which is not impacting the kind of operational part of the business at the moment. I think businesses are really different. Obviously, if you have a restaurant, you're much much more exposed. If you have a consumer-facing business, you're probably also more exposed than us. So it's really depending on the business that you're having. Germany luckily has some certain measures like Kurzarbeit, where you can get reduced people's salaries by 40%, and the state is paying for that salary for certain times. So I think the German system at least has some good measures to take care of people and companies.
Can you think of any use cases for Talon.One related to helping in the fight against coronavirus?
I mean, I could make something up, but I don't think it's actually where we should let the professionals be the professionals and do the work against the virus. Obviously, you could gamify with Talon.One things for people to stay at home or do check-ins with a geolocation feature that they have to check in their location once a day for 30 days in a row, and you could gamify the whole thing. But I think now it's not the right time to get people to buy something and to push for something, but rather focused on everyone getting the crisis over together.
And what's your forecast regarding how long the situation might last, or how it will affect the economies and businesses?
I think it will be much longer than people anticipate. I think thinking this is over in May, June, I think is overly optimistic. I think we will see long-time effects of this happening, of people not being able to pay their rent, restaurants going out of businesses, overall rent dropping, and some people might consider this good news, but then you have other people who bought this apartment who have to pay the banks, who then can't pay the banks. So I think it's going to spiral a bit, and it's at the moment it's too big to comprehend and too hard to see what is happening.
So when do you think might be a more realistic time?
I mean, we started my first business in the middle of the financial crisis, and we could see the financial crisis kind of stabilizing after 2 years. And this is already from the impact much bigger than the financial crisis. So I'm thinking this will probably take 1.5, 2, 3, 4 years until we come to a level that everybody feels comfortable again.
And maybe just to end on a positive note, what potential positive effects will sharing this situation together have on the world in general?
I think in general, what we can see is that digitalization works much faster when people are forced to. So what you can see how people easily adapt to homeschooling, home learning, over digital initiatives, digital sports. In general, you can see that businesses and governments work much more or much faster now in terms of digitalization than things used to be in the past. So that's maybe one of the good things coming out of this.